Hi YouTube, my name is Minty and welcome to my channel. Today's video is actually going to be a little more serious, and it's actually going to be going over my advice for coming out to your family, friends, etc. Normally my videos are non-scripted. Today I have some reference point. First and foremost, I'm now 25. I identify as gay, and I came out, I believe, around 15 or 16. Never even crossed my mind, but one day I was watching an episode of Futurama, and somehow I had the epiphany. That moment forever sealed in my mind that I am gay. I did not come out on my own terms because my parents assumed I was gay based on the fact I had a friend, colorful and vibrant and bright personality, and they just assumed I was gay based off that. I'm very thankful that I had a friend that allowed me to live with their family. If it wasn't for that, I would have directly been homeless. My mental health took a massive decline. I had a very, very rough time recovering from that, and it's still, 10 years later, still lingers in the back of my mind. Here is my feedback for you guys. If you are wanting to come out and you assume or have any general fears that you won't be accepted, I would first start off by building a very strong network of friends or trusted family members. Now, the keyword is trusted in the sense that they will respect your wishes. If you tell them, I'm asking you not to let my parents know or other people know, that you trust that they will not. That'd be my first one. Secondly, friends. Build a network of friends, and depending on your age, for example, if your friends are all in high school with you, find a friend that you can also trust their parent. Come up with backup plans. If it doesn't work out, is the parent going to be willing to let you to give you a place to stay? If you don't have friends, if you don't have other family members you can trust, start building those networks. And there's also support groups, etc., that may be good resource points for you. Now, as I'm 25 years old, what would I have done differently? So first and foremost, it's been 10 years, almost 10 years now. I think it's important to acknowledge that there are people with different beliefs. My parents didn't understand it and weren't supportive of it. Over time, they've become more supportive of it, but we're talking about 10 years later. But being who I am, I believe that even though someone may not have the same alignments as myself in terms of, accepting that there are gay people out there, accepting that, a man can like a man, and seeing it as okay. There are people that don't see that. I believe it's important to have an open mind, realize that just because they may not align with our thought processes or may even respect it to some degree doesn't make them immediately a bad person. They might have their own reasons and their own thought processes for why they think that way. And I think we should also approach that with an open mind. Immediately, if we view them as an enemy, it's never going to be a productive conversation. I say this because I have made friends that were not supportive of the LGBT community. I made friends with them because they were genuinely good people in my eyes. They were very charitable, giving, overall, tried making the world a better place, even though they didn't align with me. I did not open up to them about my orientation right off the bat because I didn't see it as important. I am myself, I'm Minty, and that is who I am. I'm going to show you who I am as a person, and later on, once we establish that, we can have this discussion. And that's what I did. When I had that, I will say that things were a lot different. They apologized and said, you know what? I did not realize there were gay people that I would get along. And I'm sorry for misjudging you by something that is out of your control. Once they got to know me as a person, they realized that their perspective was wrong, and some of them were still borderline of respecting that, but they needed to have their own time to process this. But this approach was much more productive, and I want to apply it with terms of my parents. It took a lot of time of self-reflection for them to come to terms with it, but me trying to force it or just getting in arguments about it was not the right approach. And And there was a long time where I was telling myself, I don't really care for my parents in my life. But now, 10 years later, as they're getting older, it is something that pops up from time to time. I'd like to have a relationship with them. I am now married, but I still haven't had my wedding, and it's something that I might want them to be part of. With that being said, I did it on my own terms. Once I established that distance, by their choice really, by kicking me out, then over the years we had discussions on my terms. And if they were being disrespectful, acting up, I would tell them, okay, let's talk again in the future under, different perspectives, because right now this conversation isn't going to be productive. And that is what led to change. But going at it like a bull against a bull, it's just not working. Both stubborn, it's not gonna. So, to recap, guys, if you are in this situation, I was a Latino, gay young male coming out to a traditional Latino family. First and foremost, build a support network. Maintain discretion in your relationships if you do not believe your family's going to be on board. Establish backup plans if things go wrong and you get kicked out. Make sure you're self-sufficient, because you can end up in a very bad spot if you are not. The world isn't fair, but we can do the best we can to become as self-reliant as we can so that we can live the lives that will make us happy. The last snippet of this video I'd like to thank is actually YouTube. Why? Because when I was coming out, YouTube videos like this are the reason that I was able to love and accept myself and see myself as a person and not as someone that was sick. Creators such as Tyler Oakley, Troye Sivan, very, very big one, Joey Graceffa, they were a big part in me being able to come to terms with this. I came out around the time that gay marriage got legalized, and that was such a phenomenal thing. And I still cry watching the videos of some of the YouTubers at the Supreme Court waiting on the final decision. I'm very thankful for the trendsetters that took the sacrifices to make things like this so much easier on us. There are so many people that in the past weren't able to marry who they loved, weren't able to be more accepted. I am now in the Midwest, but I have never felt really discriminated against. But I know 10 years ago, even in California, that was not the case. So once again, I'm very thankful for the trendsetters. You guys really did the groundwork for us to be able to live the lives that we do now, and I'm just forever grateful. Anyways, guys, if you need any feedback, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me directly down in the comments below. I'm going to make it my priority to respond to anyone that has any questions and may need some feedback. This is a very important topic to me, and I would love to give any constructive feedback to anyone that is wanting it. And put out there for you, and just know that it does get better. I heard this term and phrase time and time again, and when I was at my lowest, it was so hard to believe. But 10 years later, being now married to the man I love, I can tell you it does get better. Give it time. Time helps, and just learn to love yourself and be who you are. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a phenomenal day. My name is Minty. Bye for now.